The polished glass doors of Platinum Motors swept open with a gentle, reassuring hum, revealing a dazzling world of polished chrome, sumptuous leather, and an atmosphere defined by opulence. Nestled in the heart of New York's most exclusive district, Platinum Motors was more than just a car dealership. It was a temple of luxury, a testament to wealth and refined taste. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling, bathing the showroom in a soft, warm glow, while the gentle strains of smooth jazz floated in the background. Every detail, from the immaculate marble floors to the perfectly arranged lineup of multi-million-dollar vehicles, was designed to evoke grandeur and exclusivity. Marcus Davis, the CEO and founder of this automotive empire, decided that day to test the very system he had built. Unlike his usual well-tailored self, he deliberately chose a simpler look: a soft gray polo shirt, dark jeans, and a pair of scuffed sneakers. His goal was clear: to see how his own establishment treated a customer who did not fit the stereotypical image of wealth. With his hands casually tucked into his pockets, Marcus strolled through the showroom like any ordinary visitor, determined to observe every nuance of customer service and employee behavior. Almost immediately, Marcus noticed a striking contrast. In the midst of the showroom's dazzling display of luxury vehicles, sleek sports cars, elegant sedans, and powerful SUVs, he felt like an invisible bystander. The staff, impeccably groomed and sharply dressed, attended with unbridled enthusiasm to clients who exuded the expected aura of affluence. A young salesman, David Thompson, was seen animatedly conversing with a well-dressed couple clad in designer attire, offering them glasses of chilled champagne and speaking in tones that suggested they were royalty. Every gesture, every smile, was reserved for those who appeared to belong to the world of high-end luxury. Marcus paused by a gleaming silver sports car, its cool metal surface reflecting the ambient light. As he leaned casually against its sleek body, he observed the interactions around him. Every employee's attention seemed to be laser-focused on the impeccably dressed patrons who fit a particular mold: sharp suits, polished shoes, expensive watches. In stark contrast, Marcus's own unassuming attire immediately marked him as an outsider. Despite being the owner, today he was just another customer, blending into the background of a showroom designed to impress the elite. He stood there for nearly 15 minutes, silently taking in the scene. The unspoken rules were clear. If you didn't look the part, you were not worthy of the red carpet treatment that was so readily offered to others. Every time he glanced around, the pattern repeated itself. Enthusiastic greetings for some, cold indifference for him. The experience struck him deeply, evoking both frustration and a resolute determination. It wasn't simply a case of being overlooked, it was an overt dismissal, a subtle reinforcement of a class divide that he had built his company upon. Marcus decided to probe further. He moved toward the reception desk, where a young receptionist sat absorbed in her computer screen, her fingers tapping away with practiced precision. He waited for a moment, then cleared his throat and said in a calm yet firm voice, "Excuse me." The receptionist barely glanced up, her response flat and detached. "If you're just browsing, please wait outside. We can arrange an appointment if you're here to buy." The dismissive tone of her reply stung Marcus, confirming what he had suspected all along. This system was steeped in superficial judgments based solely on appearance. Not long after, David Thompson reappeared. He had been attending to a sharply dressed man in a designer suit who was being led towards a brand-new luxury sedan. As David's attention shifted momentarily, Marcus observed the younger salesman's subtle, yet unmistakable, smirk. The smirk, paired with his body language, conveyed an unspoken message. Here, only those who looked affluent mattered. It was not enough to be a customer, you had to fit their preconceived image of what a luxury buyer should be. The sting of being treated as if he did not belong in his own establishment began to build within Marcus. Memories of the many times he had encountered similar judgments throughout his life surfaced in his mind, but today, instead of letting anger boil over, he resolved to test the very limits of this discriminatory behavior. He wanted to see whether his employees would continue to dismiss him or if, when pressed, they would offer the courtesy he believed was his due, not because of his bank balance or his title, but because of his fundamental right to respect. For over 20 minutes, Marcus remained in the showroom, his eyes quietly cataloging every interaction. He took note of the friendly smiles, the immediate assistance, and the lavish treatment given to those who fit the expected image of wealth. In contrast, his own presence was met with a cold, almost clinical indifference. The luxury environment that once symbolized excellence now revealed a darker truth. A truth that even in a place defined by opulence, true respect was scarce. Unable to tolerate the silence any longer, Marcus strode purposefully to the reception desk once more. This time his approach was more direct. "I'm not just here to browse," he said, his voice resonating with authority that belied his casual attire. The receptionist looked up briefly, her eyes flickering with a mixture of recognition and discomfort. Before she could respond, a tall, impeccably dressed man entered the scene, a man who immediately commanded respect. It was Jordan Wells, the regional manager known for his calm demeanor and steady leadership. Jordan's respectful greeting to Marcus was immediate and sincere. "Mr. Davis, it's good to see you. I apologize for the delay," he said warmly. In that brief moment, the contrast between how Marcus was treated by the majority of the staff and the genuine courtesy extended by Jordan was stark and undeniable. While the other employees had relegated Marcus to the background, Jordan's acknowledgement reminded everyone of the man behind the empire. Marcus's eyes narrowed as he addressed the gathered staff. His tone was measured yet forceful, carrying a message that resonated throughout the showroom. "Today, I came here not just as a customer, but as the founder of Platinum Motors, the very man who built this company from the ground up. I expect to be treated with respect, regardless of what I'm wearing or how I look. It's clear that many of you have been conditioned to serve only those who fit a narrow definition of luxury. Is that the standard you choose to uphold?" His words hung in the air, heavy with both disappointment and resolve. There was a brief, palpable silence as the employees exchanged uneasy glances. David Thompson, the salesman whose earlier smirk had hinted at complacency, shifted uncomfortably. The rest of the team looked down, realizing that their actions were being scrutinized in a way they hadn't anticipated. "I want every name of the staff involved in this discriminatory treatment recorded immediately," Marcus continued. Without hesitation, Jordan pulled out his phone, already making discreet notes. The room grew even quieter as the gravity of Marcus's declarations set in. It was not just about one man's ego. It was about the values that Platinum Motors claimed to stand for. The ethos of the company, built on excellence, fairness, and respect, was being undermined by a shallow focus on appearances. Marcus paused, letting his words sink in, before he delivered his final, decisive message. "I have built this empire on the principle that every person deserves to be treated with dignity. Luxury should not be defined by the way you dress or the car you drive. It should be measured by the respect you show others. Today, if any of you believe that a simple polo and jeans make someone unworthy of the same level of service, then you have already failed. And as of now, everyone involved in this biased practice will be dismissed." A murmur ran through the room as the staff's smug confidence crumbled into shock and regret. David Thompson's face turned pale, and he struggled for words, but Marcus's firm tone left no room for debate. One by one, employees began gathering their belongings, the realization of their actions dawning on them as they left the showroom in stunned silence. As the dismissed staff departed, Marcus turned to Jordan, his tone softening just enough to carry a lesson. "Let this be a reminder that respect is not something that can be measured by appearances or superficial markers of wealth. It is a fundamental value that every person deserves. In business, as in life, true success is built on fairness, dignity, and the unwavering belief that every individual matters." The atmosphere in the showroom changed irreversibly. The luxurious space, once echoing with the sounds of polished sales pitches and celebratory laughter, now carried a heavy silence, a silence that spoke of lessons learned and mistakes acknowledged. Marcus's challenge had not only exposed a discriminatory practice, but had also set a precedent for the kind of treatment that was expected from every member of his company. Stepping out into the cool New York air later that day, Marcus felt a mix of relief and determination. He had chosen not to act out of personal indignation, but to reinforce a principle that he believed was the cornerstone of his legacy. His decision had been clear. No one, regardless of their appearance or background, should ever be judged or dismissed without a chance to prove their worth. In the days that followed, news of the incident spread quickly among employees, industry insiders, and even loyal customers. Social media buzzed with reactions, and discussions about respect, fairness, and the true meaning of luxury became the talk of the town. For Marcus, the event was not just a corrective measure. It was a powerful reminder that leadership is measured by the courage to confront uncomfortable truths and to make decisions that honor the values one holds dear. By choosing to stand up against superficial judgments in his own showroom, Marcus redefined what it meant to be a leader in the world of luxury. He proved that the real measure of success is not found in expensive suits or flashy cars, but in the integrity and respect with which every individual is treated. And in doing so, he ensured that Platinum Motors would continue to be a beacon of excellence, not only in the vehicles it sold, but in the way it valued every customer, regardless of appearance.